Now on Triad Today, always glad when we can visit with some good folks from the Winston-Salem Foundation, a group that does so many great things for so many people. And with us right now is a first-time visitor to the show, Brianna Holland. She's Strategic Initiatives Officer for the Winston-Salem Foundation. Good to see you.
Yes, thanks for having me today.
Now remind everybody, what's the mission of just very briefly, what's the mission of the Winston-Salem Foundation?
Well, the Winston-Salem Foundation is all about fostering meaningful relationships and linking those resources that they come by to support meaningful and purposeful projects and actions within Forsyth County.
Yeah, you sent me an email one day about something called the Women's Fund. So I want to learn more about that. What's the Women's Fund all about? What's the vision of that and when was it created? Bring me up to speed.
Okay, yes. So the Women's Fund was actually created with a strong and simple truth that when women and girls have the opportunity to thrive, communities are better, they're stronger, and they're more resilient. The Women's Fund is actually an extension of the Winston-Salem Foundation, and that it still stays true to the commitment of building those strong communities.
And you said how many years has it been going?
Oh, how many?
A lot.
Yes.
Been for a long time,
it's
haven't it?
been a long time.
But
So
I guess the reason I was getting to that is how has it sort of changed and evolved to being what it is today?
Well, I will say with that first simple truth of the women's and girls and just kind of focusing and bringing up those challenges and concerns, we've evolved to now providing grant funding and community initiatives that support programming efforts from leadership, advocacy, community development for girls to have that strong stability and success for the future.
Well, how do you decide, how does the Women's Fund or you decide where to invest the monies and how do you prioritize things? Help me understand that.
Well, the Women's Fund is made up of about 300 members, and all of those members don't just show up to do the work, they actually show up to participate.
Okay.
So from their expertise, from their dialogues, from their learning, we use that to support data-driven and community approach to everyone has a voice in the decision on where funding goes. We also rely on community members and nonprofit leaders because this isn't not an isolated event. We really want to know what's happening in our community, what those gaps are, and where we can make the best investment with those funds.
Well, that sort of brings me to this. Let's talk about impact for a second. Give me an example of how you think the Women's Fund has had an impact on the community.
I would definitely say, speaking back to our grant and community initiatives, they are largely accessible through health services, through youth programming, to job readiness, workforce development. And with us making those contributions to these local nonprofits, they're really able to push out the investment to meet the need of the community.
Really making a difference that way through
Yes.
the funding and everything. How do you think the community should and could get involved to support the Women's Fund, and why is it important for everybody to do so?
Well, it's important because when women and girls thrive, communities are more resilient. And in doing so, we often always want to communicate how community, how membership, how volunteering, and how investment are impactful to showing up for our community and making it a community level investment.
Why are you so, we didn't rehearse this or anything, but let me ask you a personal question about your gratification in helping other people, whatever. How did you come to be involved and want to do the kind of work that you're doing? I mean, did that come from something you learned from your family or your grandparents or what?
Yeah, so definitely I was born and raised in Winston-Salem in Forsyth County, and I went off to learn about communities and having this belief that everyone deserves this opportunity to thrive, no matter their creed, their pedigree, and where they come from. And through my education and learning and involvement in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County community, I was just, matched with this job opportunity to really
perfect for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was perfect to put what I deeply believe in into action, and that's what the Women's Fund of the Winston-Salem Foundation does.
You're a great role model, not just for women, but for everybody. I just appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
Before I forget, I want to put something up on screen here. Go to, the website is wsfoundation.org. Let me say it again, wsfoundation.org, which has a lot of different portals that you can visit to find out about the program, the Women's Fund. They can learn about the Women's Fund from that,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Okay. And I hope you will do that because there's a lot of good information there. And Brianna, you and the foundation do such great work. Hope you come back and see us.
Yes, thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after this.